Nerd Rage! Hello all you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and Author Lee hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the Crown Jewels of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you. Yes, you, the person who has to apologise profusely to their lovely editor Sai for handing her some deliriously dark footage, and not in the sort of dark web way. I mean, I just, for some reason, had the brightness turned all the way down, so apologies for making you do extra work on top of the millions of other micro jobs that I asked you to do to make me look presentable to these lovely people. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week, and this week we have none other than Itami Senpai for their suggestion of video games that forced you to be kind, even if you didn't want to be. And you know what? It's quite fun to be a jerk in video games, really. It allows us, the medium, to go out and explore the darker aspects of our psyche. Maybe we want to go around and just beat everyone up. Maybe we want to just shoot people in the face. Maybe we want to just put people into a car, drive it off a cliff, jump out the last second, parachute away, get on a giant flying bike, zoom up to the stars, shoot a giant death laser down here, and then watch as a million irradiated dolphins rise up from the seas and kills everyone. Video games do allow you to do some of those things, and it is indeed being a jerk across the board if you do such. But these video games here, they had to say, whoa now. Maybe those radiated dolphins that you just used in that ridiculously overdrawn example, maybe that's going a bit too far here. I would have done irradiated mole rats, but you have pushed the limit, my friend. The envelope, it is over there. So we're just going to say, hey now, whoa now, let's calm down. And so let's have a chat about it. So I'm Jules. This is a ridiculous intro, I'm sorry, Si. With this in mind, I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 times that video games stopped you from being a jerk. I've been a real jerk with this intro. Apologies there, Si. Number 8, team killers go to the brig, America's Army. Now, who among us has never killed a teammate in an online shooter? Just put your hands up. All of you people here, you're monsters right here. I mean, it is fun though. You do get a silly little giggle out of doing it. It's a pretty common problem in shooters either way. But FPS America's Army came up with a hilariously novel way to dissuade problematic players from killing their own team. Basically, those who repeatedly killed teammates will be kicked from the server and sent to prison, a holding cell that effectively puts the player in timeout for a short while in an attempt to discourage team killing. Amusingly, the prison in question is actually Fort Leavenworth's United States Disciplinary Barracks, a maximum security facility designed to hold court-martialed servicemen in real life. The game will also send you here if you decide to shoot your drill sergeant or other soldiers during the training level, but clearly got its most use out of punishing people who was just running rampant online team killing and just trying to find out what the consequences were. It turns out it's this. You go into the brig. Get comfy, my friend, because obviously, once people knew that this is what was going to happen, they were like, well, maybe I should team kill and see what actually goes on in there. So it actually encouraged more team killing. Number 7, destroy mills, get an epic guilt trip. Age of Empires 2. Now in the first mission in Age of Empire 2's Francisco de Almeida campaign, The Old World, it offered players a choice between 2 objectives. Destroy the military buildings in the area or obliterate the mills. Now completing either task will successfully end the mission, but it's also clear to everyone playing that one of these options is decidedly more cruel than t'other. Taking down military structures filled with actual soldiers makes a lot more sense than destroying the local populace's food source. It just seems really bad. Really mean, doesn't it? It's just kind of like, right, what we got over here then, Big Pidge? We're on a covert mission, by the way. That's why he's in camo at the moment. What's up, Big Pidge? We're basically like looking over there. So, right, okay, so over there, they've got nukes, irradiated dolphins. Don't know what that's about. And also, they've just got like an aggressive amount of cheese strings, and that bothers me for some reason. I don't like that. Why have they stockpiled so much of it? On the other hand, there's just some farmers singing little tunes to themselves, whistling, looking very nice. It looks like Tiny Glade over there. It's just a nice time. So who do you want to shoot? Whoa. Why are you pulling out Gunny and the Man? Listen, man, listen. This crossover episode can't happen yet, all right? Just put that one down. Put it down, Big Pig. I'm gonna have to get him some help, I'll tell you that much. Where was I even going with this skip? Oh yeah, don't destroy the farmers, that was what it was. But anyone who actually decides to go down the incredibly mean route of destroying the mills will actually be surprised with well, a bit of a surprise, actually, and that is the narrator laying the guilt trip to end all guilt trips upon them. As you go about destroying the mills, you'll be informed of the grim consequences of your actions. That is, leaving the city's poorest civilians to starve to death in the months that follow. It's bleak enough that your conscience may actually kick in and compel you to replay the level and spare the mills this time around. Or do it again if you're a real sicko. Number 6, tackle a goalie, get an instant red card. FIFA Road to the World Cup 98. Though the FIFA series certainly became vastly more sophisticated in its later entries, for many the high point came around the time of FIFA Road to World Cup 98, when players were finally granted the opportunity to, slide tackle the shins right off a goalkeeper. Let's face it, we all really wanted to do this before this game came out, because it's just like if you're playing against your mate and they're probably better than you. I mean, at least all of my friends were definitely better at FIFA than me. So it's basically just like, oh, your goalie's there. It'd be a shame if he turned into Peg Leg Pete. This is why I like the game Red Card so much. You could foul anyone at any time. It was amazing. But you know what, even though EA did allow people to slide tackle goalkeepers, they did put a bit of a de-incentive in there by giving you an immediate red card if you were to tackle a goalkeeper. And that is pretty annoying, yeah. I mean, they've lost one of their players potentially, but you've definitely gone down on your side as well. But hilariously, if you ignore this and keep sending your players out there to violently attack the goalkeeper, you can actually get enough of your team sent off the pitch that you're forced to forfeit the match. So it's turned into a game of Blood Bowl right now, and I'm kind of here for it. It's certainly a way to stop players from unleashing their inner hooligan on the field, right? Number 5. Anakin Won't Help A Murderer. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, the video game adaptation of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace allows the sickos among us to go full mask off, red mist psychopath and slaughter their way across Tatooine while controlling Obi-Wan Kenobi. And if you keep at it long enough, a terrified NPC will start talking about a vicious murderer killing innocent folk around the town. And at that point, everyone just goes, "Hello there," and then proceeds to probably butcher them. But there is a huge downside to this, let's just call it fun, bloodshed. Anakin Skywalker evidently figures out that you are the lightsaber-wielding maniac in question, and when you approach him, he'll refuse to assist you, proclaiming, "I won't help a murderer like you," every time that you try to speak to him. And just like that, you've soft-locked the game entirely, because without Anakin's cooperation, you can't actually beat this level. The only way to keep progressing onwards is to start again and, not indiscriminately end a bunch of innocents. I mean, I know it's a hive of scum and villainy, but at the same time, you are the hive of scum and villainy right here. Although, does anyone want to point out to Anakin that he's like, "Oh, I won't have a murderer"? Watch me become the world's worst babysitter in a few years' time. Number 4, Pedestrians Fight Back, Skate 3. Now, Skate 3 in many ways is a perfect organism of a video game and has remained popular almost 15 years after release, largely thanks to its absolutely hysterical ragdoll physics. And let's face it, many of us have spent way too long just cruising around town, launching ourselves off board and just smashing into NPCs, smashing them down into the ground, pretending that they are skateboards and trying to ride on them, and then just punching them in the face for good measure. But you know what? Skate 3's Pedestrians won't just take this lying down, because EA Black Box programmed them to fight back against you, and they fight back hard. If you dare to hit an NPC and then ride off laughing, there's a good chance that you'll see said NPC take to running after you with all the determined ferocity of the T-1000 from Terminator 2. And they have a single-minded obsession with punching you right back. It's funny for a minute, but given that the NPCs will often doggedly pursue you after your violent attack, it can get pretty annoying pretty quickly, especially if they happen to be packing a taser. This is basically the game telling you to stop being an asshole to the locals and just get back to the purism of skating. And when you do that, that game is amazing. I can't wait for the new Skate to come out. I really hope it's good. I really do. What was that other game, Sessions, that came out? God, that was disappointing. I wanted that to be amazing, and then it came out and I was just there like, yeah! Aww. Number 3, Kill the Clergy, Get a Game Over, King's Quest 2. Now, graphic adventure games naturally invite players to indulge in their curiosity by testing out every text prompt possible that comes to mind, no matter how weird or depraved it might be. But clever developers usually responded to the most predictably unhinged things that players might try to do, and in the case of King's Quest II, they shrewdly figured out that a lot of people, they're gonna want to try and murder a monk in his own house of God, no less. I mean, it's what we do. So if you go into the monastery and type kill monk, you'll be met with a riotous message which reads, anyone who would kill a man of the cloth doesn't deserve to play this game. Therefore, we'll end it. True to their word, the game abruptly spits you out to its main menu, denying you the opportunity to murder a clergyman and then just keep playing. It's actually kind of brilliant. But it actually gets better though, because in a 2002 fan remake of King's Quest II, it revealed that the monk in question was actually a secret werewolf, and so refuses to punish you should you decide to kill him at this point, which is just amazing. Number 2, toss the nether stones, become a mind flayer. Baldur's Gate 3. Now in the third act of Baldur's Gate 3, players are tasked with finding the nether stones, a trio of magical trinkets that can be used to take on the villainous Elder Brain. And I wish people would stop calling me Elder Brain. I know I have a big odd shaped head, alright? Megamind. Pale Megamind is what I've been called before. And I'm fine with that. But I ain't no mind flayer, man. And though the RPG is seemingly idiot-proof to prevent players from just throwing the stones away and effectively locking themselves out of beating the game, it didn't actually take long for players to discover a workaround. And why would you want to discover this? It's just like, I love Baldur's Gate 3 players because they're just like, okay, can I kill X with Y? And it's like, yeah, let's find a way to make that happen. Here it's just kind of like, can I stop myself from having fun and enjoying the rest of this game? Yes! And here's the thing, if you want to be the jerk to end all jerks and condemn the world to a grim fate, you can put the nether stone inside a container and then just throw said container off of a ledge, making it inaccessible from that point. But because developers Larian obviously didn't want players to end up in this soft lock nightmare, the action triggers a cutscene where you're called out for dooming the world before the Absolute then shows up to transform you into a mind flayer. Game over. So they actually thought ahead to people trying to break their game and have anti-fun, which itself is quite fun, and then made an entire cutscene. I mean, I shouldn't even be surprised at this point, because Larian's ability, this foresight, this precognition that they've got to actually be able to just say, hey, we know how weird our player base is going to be, and then spend time and effort making something for them, is astounding. They are masters of their craft. And number 1, forfeit money for being rude. You don't know Jack. Now the PC version of party game You Don't Know Jack had quite the costly surprise in store for any players with a desire to be needlessly vulgar during a round of anagram or gibberish questions where they're tasked with typing in an answer. And players who simply type, and excuse your ears here, Big Pidge, you will be met with a hilariously pissed off response from the host, who will not only admonish their base behaviour but also take a ludicrous amount of money away from them, and it can be as much as $150,000. Now if you've got a few pals in on the joke too, it actually gets better, because if a second player, and again, ears, Pidge, says you again, the host will mock their lack of originality but actually not penalise them financially. And if a third player goes, you know the drop by now, again, the host will decide that he's just had enough, announcing that he has control of your computer before instantly shutting the game down and sending you back to your desktop. Incredible. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video games that forced you to stop being a jerk. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. And if you want to catch up with me on the meantime, this is where I'd normally say go follow me on all of these social medias over here, but get them out of here, Si. Because instead, I just want you to go and follow me over on Blue Sky over here, because that's pretty much where I'm going to be doing most of my content posting going forward, because hell, I want to condense stuff down, and I want to give this a try, and I'm kind of digging the idea of just starting again fresh with just, you get the rush of getting new people following you, get to connect with people again who maybe you've not spoken to in a while. It's a good old time indeed. So go follow me there, go follow Si over on her social medias over here as well. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Even though we spoke today about video games that stopped you from being a jerk, you know what? Stop being a jerk to yourself as well, mate. Because sometimes I read things out there where people send me and speak to people in the street I do go outside sometimes, and they tell me that sometimes they're too hard on themselves. And I'm like, I know, bud, stop being so hard on yourself. You are a big ledge and you deserve the bloody best, all right? So just start that day with that positive affirmation that you deserve love, happiness, and success, all right? We all do as human beings. So go out there and smash it, my friend. Remember, it's going to be okay. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon.